make sure that you speak positive all the time, that you think positive all the time. You will still have negative thoughts coming up because you cannot decide from now on I will be positive and then only have positive thoughts. But still, when negative thoughts come up, dismiss them. Dismiss them. There might be 0.00001% thoughts that are negative, that are actually valid. Anything else you can just dismiss and know that these words, they are just like illusions, they are just like sounds that you have gathered and interpreted according to our human interpretation of these sounds and their meanings. But overall, you can just drop all these interpretations, all these thoughts, all these meanings, and then what you are left with is existence in its undescripted and, in quotation marks, neutral way. It is neutral. It is not even neutral. Even saying that it would be neutral would make it not neutral again. It is without words, because the words we have invented. We have invented language to be more efficient in certain situations, which makes sense. But the words should be used in a positive way, like your life should be used in a positive way. You want a positive life, right? You want positive experiences, right? You want positive people around you, right? People that give you a good feeling, that build you up, that make you feel worthy and loved. And so in order to get that, you have to observe your mind and really pay attention to what your mind is saying, and change your mind and drop your mind. And by dropping the mind, I mean kinda leaving it aside. It will still be there, it will still say some things, but you don't want to be angry, upset, all this stuff, right? So you have to not go with it when it comes up. You have to stay away from that. You have to always aim for the positive. You have to always choose the positive aspects and keep yourself in a positive state of mind. And once your mind becomes more positive, it will also be easier to let go of the mind. To let go and just leave it aside, because you don't really need it. It is there, it is like something that is automatic, but it is not something that you necessarily need to live, or especially in these days, you don't need it anymore. And all our masters, all our spiritual masters, who are masters because people trust them, because they have a very good vibe. They have such a good vibe. They are so soft-spoken and nice, and they are so lovely, and like building people up and giving them good energy and making them thrive. They are so good to others. That's why they are trusted by the people, And that's why they are our spiritual masters, and all of them are practitioners of meditation. And what meditation really is in the end is just becoming aware that there is a pattern of sound in you that you interpret, and this pattern, that the realization that this pattern is random, because someone who is not aware thinks that he is this pattern. Oh, these are my thoughts, I am gonna do this, I am gonna do that. And this sense is created by letting the mind run and never thinking about this. And once you sit in silence for a couple seconds over and over again, or many times, you don't need to sit, you can just remind yourself in your day-to-day life, whatever you're doing, oh, I don't want to think right now. That's how it was for, in quotation marks, me. You might not want to think. You just want to chill out and walk. So then you will more and more practice and indulge in this behavior of remaining silent. And then you have these periods, like few seconds again and again and again, where you are silent, and through that you realize that even though there is silence, you are still there. And then you can imagine being silent for longer, because you have been silent for a few seconds. And even if you would, so then it becomes like a skill. You now have gained the skill to be silent for a few seconds. And once you have obtained that skill, then you can imagine how it would be if you would be silent for longer and longer and longer. And then you see that if you remain silent for longer, you are still there, you know? So there is no vital part of you missing, because you are still there. So you cannot be the mind. The mind is inside of you. The mind is there, but it's not you. And through this realization, the mind has less influence on you. And you will stop thinking negative. You know, there's things your mind does that you don't like. For example, getting upset. Usually you love people, but when you're frustrated, your mind leashes out on them, right? Which you don't like, because you feel very, very bad when it happens, and you don't want it. You want to be happy. So by realizing that the mind is just a form of art, then it loses its power more and more and more, and you just become more pure and more of an observer, more of a being, which you are. You become more of a being, and in that beingness there's, I don't want to say peace or calm or silence. It is just like, it is being. There you enter being. And the more you enter being, the more you will realize how others maybe still operate from thinking. And especially when people get very happy, they use to express a lot. Even people who are usually silent, when they become happy, they will express a lot, and they might talk a lot. And yeah, so it's really important to be observant with thought and learn to, because when you become observant with your thought, you have gained the ability to change, because thought is first. It's like in the Bible begins with, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and the Word was good. So in order to create a good life, you want to speak good. This is kinda obvious, of course. What I'm saying is obvious, yet people tend to forget sometimes. And you have to remember, we have to remember, I have to remember to not take things so serious. Because I can today be upset about something, but it's not necessary. I don't need to be upset. There is no point. Tomorrow I will have forgotten anyways. So we can just drop this and imagine people dropping these things, becoming aware and dropping this stuff. Imagine an environment around you where people are consciously staying in a positive or a pretty silent mind space. When you are silent, when you are in a positive vibe, there is so much potential for happiness and elevated emotions. They don't necessarily need to be there, but it is just upliftment. It is just a bettering of the whole picture. And this, you know that things go viral. You know that things go viral, and I think that negative things, people are usually attracted to negativity when they are bored. And if we, when we enter into the positive space, there won't be boredom. There will be fulfillment. So it is an upward spiral. There will be fulfillment when we tap into the positivity and the awareness. I think that's enough. Much love. Love you so much. Enjoy. Enjoy. See you soon. Peace.